I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Wins. What an absolute pleasure it is to be here. 36th Annual Baie Peninsula Mining Conference. Thank you to our good friends at Brook Construction, High-Tech Communications, and Western Petroleum for bringing this conversation alive. They understand that all the voices matter. And on that note, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mackenzie Warford. I'm the president of the Green Bay Chamber of Commerce, supporting economic development within the region. I'm also the operator and owner of Papa's Farm, which is located in Baie, Newfoundland, and the president and founder of the Canadian Hydroponics Association.
Okay, there's three big chunks here I want to talk about, Mackenzie. Let's talk about your farm first. Let's talk about that. Tell me what that's all about.
So Papa's Farm is a year-round hydroponic greenhouse. We specialize in romaine lettuce.
Okay.
365 days a year. We seed about 275 seeds a week, and we harvest about 250 heads a week. We're growing, we're not only a farm, but we're a big brand based on local support and being able to provide quality produce in lack thereof, and what we've experienced for the past decade or more in Newfoundland with the 90% imported food rate. So we focus on, like I said, romaine lettuce, but we're also keen to focus on the hydroponics in general and what it has to offer for Newfoundland in forms of security and food security and sustainability. So our brand also branches out into encouraging youth to eat healthy. So we have our own mascot. His name is Captain Romaine. He has a little jingle, a little chime. He has a slogan. And he comes with every purchase of Papa's Farm's lettuce. So what we're trying to do is make healthy eating cool again, to try and get the healthy aspect back to Newfoundland. Unfortunately, we're one of the most unhealthy provinces in all of Canada, and so the only way to combat that is to make it cool. Make it cool to be healthy, right? So our brand reaches, I'm proud to say we hit 1.2 million views in this year. Like we're really doing a good job, and the people of Newfoundland want the product. The people of Newfoundland deserve the best, and we're not going to settle for subpar anymore. So that's what we bring with Papa's Farm. We bring the highest quality, nutrient dense, freshest produce. No impact on the environment. Everything is contained within our hydroponic system. We grow with ethical practices that somebody imported produce, they really don't follow the same guidelines that we follow, and we follow the Canadian guidelines as well as the Canadian Hydroponics Association guidelines to ensure that we're delivering the best high quality produce that we can.
How long does it take to grow a head of lettuce?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Yep.
How resource intensive is that? Like heat, light, water, what do you need to?
So in our hydroponic greenhouse, we have a custom built greenhouse which utilizes a custom geothermal earth battery system where we force the temperate air that's down underground about 8 feet up into the greenhouse for heating and cooling. Mm-hmm. So during the extreme heat in the summer, the ground is 8 degrees. That's a cooling effect. During minus 40 in the winter, it's 8 degrees. That's a heating effect, right? So the geothermal system really plays a key role. But the upgrades we've made in the greenhouse itself, from going from a full double poly plastic greenhouse to a greenhouse that's been divided down the middle to allow the sun to come in and on the south side, and to eliminate the sun on the north side, because what happens is it creates too much heat within the greenhouse. So our crop is more of a cold crop. It likes the spring temperatures and fall temperatures. So there's a lot of things that are at play with hydroponics, but the technology has reached a point, and the R&D research that has been done has reached a point where it becomes feasible. So our biggest expense, and I'll tell you right off the bat, is utilities. And it's not because of the lights, you would assume. Lights are only used during the winter. Because we use a greenhouse, it's only supplemental. So from, say, October till May, we use supplemental lighting, and it's only for 4 hours, right? So we're not burning a whole lot of wattage, but there's pumps consistently running, and there's fans consistently running.
With the geothermal system?
Yes, the geothermal and the interior, like the plants need air to stimulate healthy development. And so with the adjustments we have made, and with the partnership with Newfoundland Off-Grid Solutions, we will be using solar power to power our whole greenhouse, which eliminates our biggest expense, increases our margins, helps the consumer get the product for a cheaper price. Right? So like we have fertilizer, we have grow medium, we have water and utilities and labor. And the utilities is the biggest component of the margins. So that's going to be wiped out during the summer.
You're aiming towards that. Talk to me about your involvement in hydroponics, the association. Talk to me about that.
Back in 2021, when I formed Papa's Farm and we started hydroponic growing, we noticed a lack of support in the hydroponic sector and technology and agriculture, not only in Newfoundland, but across the board in Canada. Hydroponics has been readily used for the cannabis industry for a very long time, even before it was legal. So like the ability of hydroponics was well known, but it wasn't in the agriculture sector as much as it should have been. So when we say hydroponics, people just go right to marijuana or cannabis, and that's not what we're talking about, right? So once we recognized that there was not much hydroponic support for Canadians, we said, well, we've got to create it. I mean, the United States have the American Hydroponic Association. It's no different. They provide discounts, networking, and education to the growers. We do the same thing here in Canada. We provide discounts, monthly meetings. Right now we're working on a cute little project to trademark our logo so that Canadian growers can put our Canadian stamp on the bags and Canadians know they're getting Canadian authentic produce.
How big is the association now?
We got about 44 members across Canada.
Wow.
Everything from growers, distributors, manufacturers, fertilizer companies, like you name it. It's the hub we've created to help people get the finances and the things they need to be successful.
And is the cannabis sector in that conversation as well from there?
The cool part about it is there's a lot of piggybacking that we have done off the cannabis industry because the type of revenue they generate from selling cannabis is extravagant compared to a $3 bag of lettuce, right? So the amount of technology and R&D that's been put into the cannabis industry has really played a key role in the agriculture of the world, where we're working with a lighting company that focused mainly on cannabis, but they recognize that the lighting spectrum they're using for cannabis is pretty much the same for strawberries, right? So just tweaking the spectrum, the lumens, the PPFD, we're able to get a light that works specifically for agriculture. You pick your crop, and we have specialists in the association that'll say, this is the light you need, this is the duration, this is how much it's going to run you in the utilities, right? So it's very cool.
That is very cool, and an interesting conversation to have at a mining show. But Mackenzie, now I want you to take me to Green Bay. Talk to me about the chamber there. What's happening there?
So in the region of Green Bay, we have a tremendous amount of opportunity in front of us, not just with the mining sector, but also with tourism and the fishery. There's still a lot of forestry activity happening in Green Bay. We have some very, very big commercial businesses that play a key role in the mining industry here in this area, not only in Baie Verte, but also in Hammer Down and Shoal Pond Valley. So recognizing the opportunity for economic development and the spin-off from these mining companies is a very important part for us now in the chamber, and to recognize where we can help small businesses in Green Bay take advantage of the uptake of the boom that we're about to see. It's making sure that the mining companies are they're using good practices and environmentally friendly practices, but also economic practices that focus on what we can handle as a community, right? There's only so much each community can handle with the resources we have. So it's important to recognize who the key players are in the conference, bring them to Springdale and Kings Point and Detroit and show them what we have to offer, what we're working with, and build an economic development plan that suits the communities and it suits the mining and it suits the consumers in the area, the residents of the area. So it's a very good opportunity to network. I've met a lot of great people, and also the vice president of the chamber is here as well, Jamie. So we've been doing a lot of networking on behalf of the chamber, and we look to have a skills trades conference, much similar to this, but we're not focusing on mining in particular. Because like I said, there's a lot of activity happening in the Green Bay area, and it's generating that awareness now. That's what we're really focused on. is generating the awareness, letting people know, you know, do a release with Maritime and Firefly in Springdale and in Triton and Kings Point. There's youth there that can go to work, right? When I grew up, when I graduated high school, there was two options. You went to university or college, or you went away to work, right? That was your options. And it wasn't, you know, you're going to stay home and grow up with your family and build a life. That wasn't an option. You went to Alberta, or you went Northwest, or you know, whatever to cut ends meet. But here now we have an opportunity for our youth to gain a good career with pension, medical benefits, and the opportunity to stay and live in Newfoundland and be Newfoundlanders, and hopefully our grandkids will stay here. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. Like, if we don't generate some activity with the spin-off of this great economic boom, people aren't going to stay, right? So, like, we need to make sure that everything is lined up correctly for us to win and succeed. We don't overlook anything. We think about what happens when the mine is closed and when everything closes down. We want to make sure everything stays not the same, but better than what it was when they came, right? So, as management, we got to make sure we do a good job managing. So, the Chamber is here now to work with the mining companies, small businesses, connect the dots where we can. And yeah, it's a real opportunity for Green Bay. It really is. So I'm really excited, and I can see the potential. You can sort of feel it in the atmosphere. Like, I've watched the Hammer Down project transpire now over the past 4 or 5 years. I've had shares in the stock because I want to see the economic development in Green Bay. I want to invest back into my community and my region. And I can sort of feel it, you know, like there's a vibe and an energy here that's like, this seems to be moving somewhat similar to the oil, you know, and the oil, I mean, that's a big moneymaker here in Newfoundland. Don't let anybody joke you, oil is our product. But this mining opportunity with the critical minerals, if we manage it right, everybody in this room and everybody outside of this room within the community should win, right? And that's the main goal. So that's what the Chamber's focus on now, is put together a plan and a package, support the youth, get them working, get them here. And when we have to bring in immigration, we have to focus on it. We have to say, well, we don't have the workers. We got to bring someone in. We got to come up with a solution. So we got a great group there. We got 8 executive members, all volunteer. And when we started out, we were the Springdale area Chamber of Commerce, but since then we branched out to the Green Bay Chamber. So really proud of the team that I got there. Yeah, it was a great group of people.
Well, all those people that are staying and all those people that are coming, they're all going to need lettuce. Yeah. So you seem to be in the right spot at the right time. Mackenzie, an absolute pleasure to be in conversation.
Thank you, sir. Excellent.